What if your fatigue wasn't a flaw, but a message? What if the migraines, the mood swings, the hormone crashes weren't just random breakdowns, but intelligent signals from your body that actually wants to heal? Today's guest is Beth Milbreck, a former mechanical engineer turned health detective who helps women crack the code on their most frustrating health symptoms by uncovering what their body has been trying to say all along. After 2 decades of studying energy medicine, muscle testing, and nutrition, Beth blends science, intuition, and deep systems thinking to help clients find exact answers instead of guessing their way through supplements, diets, and wellness advice that never quite lands. Is that you? Can you vibe with that? Y'all, if you've ever been told that your labs were quote unquote normal or felt dismissed, even though your body's screaming for help, this episode will be your permission slip to stop dismissing your symptoms and start listening to what they've been saying all along. Because when you learn to ask your body the right questions, healing isn't just possible, it's inevitable. But before we dive into this episode, y'all already know what time it is. Vibe with me, y'all. Welcome to the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast. Y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast, the safe space where survival mode ends and your healing journey begins. So if you've been pushing through pain, fatigue, bloating, or hormone chaos, I want you to know your body isn't broken. It's speaking. Welcome to the Good Vibe Studio, Beth.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am. From engineering to energy. You spent years as a mechanical engineer. What led you to pivot from machines to the actual human body?
Well, it's all the people that I've watched on my teams, the people who do all the work, the people who build these things that you need. We all work, no matter what job you're in, when your body and your mind work well. And when you're not feeling well, you can't solve any problems. You have no creativity. Things just start falling apart. And when I noticed in my team and then my family and friends, it just is a problem that I needed to solve. And I was tired of the complaining, the migraines that wouldn't go away week after week. Oh, it's another migraine. Or a family member who had digestive issues, have to change the menu, can't go out to this restaurant. Another friend who has pain in the hip, can't go on a hike. We won't be able to do that when we go on a trip. Like, hey, let's do something about this. Oh no, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, oh no, there is something we can do, and I'm going to figure it out. And so I just started taking all my wisdom, putting it together. And I thought that this would be more important to work with people, because when we are all healthy, that's who I want in my life. That's who I want in my community, in my family, in the world.
I like that, Beth. So I don't know about y'all. Drop your most frustrating symptom, either that you've experienced before or that you're experiencing right now in the comments. So Beth hit mine with the pain in the hip already. So when she said it, I was like, oh, she's already talking to me. So y'all drop in the comment that symptom that you might be currently dealing with and look at it as a way of that your body is actually speaking to you. And now that we're here and you're listening with the health detective Beth, let's start to really get our minds ready to wrap it around what could possibly be some of these root causes and some of the things that we can actually do. Something that I loved about what you just shared, Beth, was about, you got tired of seeing your teammates not being able to be as productive, as creative, as vibrant, because they were dealing with so many different issues and their body was speaking to them through these symptoms. What patterns did you start seeing that others were missing when it came to food, energy, and emotions?
Well, people focus on food, like if they just eat the right lunch, they'll feel better. Or food is just a means to have the right body shape so that you fit into your clothes and you look nice in a bathing suit. No, 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 no. Food is everything. And yet, it it doesn't solve all the problems because there's the right food that has to come in, but also the wrong things need to stay out. And some of those might not even be foods. They could be extra things that you just really shouldn't have in your life. And some of those things aren't even foods. They're stressors, the television and the podcast and the news and the things that are all coming in. All of that is stuff that you're watching and listening and it's driving through traffic, being in a city versus being in a country. Just all of that goes into your body. And it's not just the food, it's all of those things. And then we need to make sure we're metabolizing it. Are we metabolizing our food and getting all those nutrients out? So it's not about the salad and fitting into your clothes. It's about, are you getting all the nutrients you need in your life? Are you keeping the bad stuff out? And then when it's in your body, are you able to assimilate it and get the extra out? So, how is your lymph moving? How are you eliminating? All of that daily movement is a part of what you need to think about when symptoms keep coming up. So we want to like, oh, there's a symptom. Let's just find a supplement, or maybe I should eat something different. But it's all of those things I just mentioned.
So I like that you said wrong things need to stay out. Some people don't know the right things from the wrong things, Beth. And I also enjoy you kind of hitting on making sure your lips are moving, and that can be simply walking or doing
Yeah.
proper massages. But then you talked about elimination. How are you allowing your body to truly naturally eliminate what it doesn't need? And then you talked about getting the nutrients. So for someone who doesn't know what you're talking about, but says, okay, I'm here, Beth. I'm here, healthy habits and lifestyle coach Jovonnie. What does that really mean? What are those wrong things? And what are some of the quick ways that I can ensure that I'm getting in my proper nutrients without overhauling my entire kitchen?
If you want, the simplest way is skip things that are in boxes and bags. If it's got a barcode, put it on pause. You can always come back to it, save it for a special occasion when when you need a junk food fix. Try going for things. I'm not going to tell you about potatoes or just different vegetables or whether you should have meats or you should have beans and lentils. All of those are different depending on your culture, depending on what you can digest. But listen, if you can have foods in their natural state and cook them at home instead of going to a restaurant, fix it at home with your family, that's the best place. So those are the good things you should come in. Maybe foods that are in season wherever you live, that's even better. If you're in a northern climate like I am, yes, we're going to want to get those fruits that are coming from the warm places. So those are the foods you want to bring in. The foods you want to leave out, you can leave out the processed foods that are in the bags and the boxes. You can leave out some of the things that are probably not doing you any good, like maybe alcohol and wine and beer and cigarettes and vaping and things that you probably know aren't so good. But really, if you just wanted to try keeping the things out, you know what? Sometimes even I will put coffee on that list. Like maybe take a break from coffee, especially if you're a woman that really fires up your adrenals and taxes you. So I'm not afraid to say everyone loves their coffee, but if you really want to try and get back on track, try and take a break from that. For me, it's chocolate. Chocolate is what I love. That's where I get my caffeine from. So sometimes I'll say, you know what? I got to take a break from chocolate. It's a little bit too much. So those are things to bring in and the things to leave out.
I appreciate that, Beth. So, y'all, number one, skip the boxes and the bags. That's normally where you're getting a lot of processed foods or foods that are including a lot of different additives that are actually more harmful than they are helpful. And so you want to check the back of that. But if you want to just put things on pause right now, skip the bags and the boxes. Number two, she said cook foods at home that are in season. So go for whole foods, y'all. And if you need a little help, check the show notes. I have a plant-based alternative guide for you that goes over grains, vegetables, fruits, different ways to get your protein in that are nutrient rich. So it switches out your white rice, something I grew up on as someone in the South, to different forms of grains that give me more nutrients, give me the fiber, and so many more. And so check that out in the show notes. Go ahead and grab it. It's the plant-based alternative guide. Definitely gives you a lot of different healthy swaps, but it also gives you recipes for juices, smoothies, and plant-based recipes that you can cook. And like she said, if you're someone who still consumes the meat, go ahead and add the meat to those meals if that's your decision. It is your journey. I just want you to get in more whole plant-based foods to get your nutrients, because that's where the nutrients are. And then she also said, put a pause on the alcohol, the drugs, the vaping, and even the coffee. She didn't say just get rid of it altogether, all in one sweep right now after you listen to this podcast. She's saying if you really want to stop with the wrong things and you really want to show up for your body and how it's speaking to you, just try these 3 things to get it started. And it's just a few steps. So I really appreciate you breaking all of that down, Beth. And you definitely said food is everything. What do you feel like people get wrong about the link between food, emotion, and physical symptoms?
I think what people get wrong is that food is so much more than just chemicals that feed us. It has so much meaning. And when you sit down to eat, savor your food. It is much better to have maybe something that's less nutritious, but really enjoy it. If you're going to eat the pizza, enjoy it, eat it slowly, be with your friends and completely enjoy it, one bite at a time, and savor it. That is so much better. You're going to get so much more pleasure. You're probably going to eat less of it, and it'll satisfy you. And you won't need to do that again for a little while because you're like, oh, yeah, I just had pizza. It was so wonderful. I'm going to wait on that. So, what people get wrong is that they forget that food is much more than just calories and fuel. It is an emotional, satisfying thing. If you cook a beautiful meal at home, but then you have a fight and you're sitting down at the table, but you're angry and your stomach's in a knot, that's not really going to nourish you because you're not going to make the digestive enzymes. It's not going to get broken down. Your body is in panic mode. And so it's not going to nourish you as if, it much better to let it sit, calm down, take a walk, breathe, and then when you're ready to eat it, sit down and enjoy it. Say a little blessing like, wow, I am so grateful that I have this amazing meal to sit down and either enjoy with myself or with the people I'm eating with. And when you do, maybe put the screens away, turn the television off, and just enjoy it bite by bite. Food is so much more than just protein, carbs, and fats.
It is. And when you were talking about it, it made me think about mindful eating. That's one of my main pillars that I have for the show. It's part of my M to the third degree healing empowerment formula. It took a 4-hour long surgery for me to be diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, adenomyosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and they found 2 fibroids at the time. It was March 2020, right before the pandemic ended. And once I got up and I got this diagnosis and I understood the deep infiltrated inflammation that my body was in, that I had no idea what was going on, that was causing the pelvic pain, that was causing the heavy bleeding, that was causing the onset of nausea, and the low back pain. Beth, it was just like, whew, I didn't know all of this was happening inside of my body. And to see all of the images from surgery and everything that they had to do to reconstruct. One of my sorority sisters, who was also an obstetrician gynecologist, an OBGYN, she said, there's no cure for endometriosis, adenomyosis, but diet could help. nutrition could help. And so for me, that was the first thing that I started to change. That's when I started to shift. I was already pescatarian, but I started to, remove the dairy, start removing the gluten, and then once I started juicing, I think it was February 2023, me and my mom started juicing. I went totally plant-based and I started feeling more vibrant. My cycles got so much better and lighter. They were regulated. I used to be irregular over time. The painful bowel movements really decreased. Like I could really see the shift when it came to how I was starting to change my lifestyle around food and my relationship with food. And so I was like, yes. And so I thought it was this concept of mindful eating because I was being mindful of what I was eating. And then I looked and was like, no, there's a whole philosophy on mindful eating. And I ended up taking this mindful eating certification program just to better understand, oh, what I thought was just mindful eating, the practice of mindful eating. And it was what you were just referring to, being present with your food, not being shamed about having something that might not have high nutritional value, like the pizza, depending on what you're putting on your pizza and how it was prepared. But, like the pizza, and being present with it, slowing it down, enjoying it, the emotions behind it. It talked about not watching TV. Culturally, I grew up with eating and watching TV, going to the movies, having something to eat while you're watching, not necessarily being present of how often you're just stuffing your face with the popcorn, if you're really full or not, and you want something to drink, or do you still keep popping the kernels because the movie's getting good? You just never really know. And so it's really that shift for me to say, oh, being mindful with your food is looking at the colors, appreciating the different colors on your plate, appreciating what you're getting from the food that you're getting, making sure there's still a little crunch to your vegetables and that you didn't overcook them. And so now you're just eating nicely cooked, flavored vegetables with no nutritional value because you cooked it all out with all of the heat and the process that you went through it. And I'm just so grateful that you gave us that mindful eating reminder when you talked about it. And then you said food is more than just chemicals, calories, and fuel. It's pretty much medicine, and it could be satisfying, it could be healing, and that you need to be present with it so you truly enjoy it and you give your body what you expect it to take. Like you sometimes people say their grace and bless their food and they want it to be nourishing. It's being purposeful with the food that you're eating. And I think that right there is just a testament to the power of food. And we don't give food enough power that it deserves and the value that it deserves. And I think over time it definitely can truly compound, and you can see your health really start to shift just by changing your relationship with food and how you truly embrace nutrients, nutrition, and how you really want to just heal with this thing that you have the opportunity to consume every single day. And so I'm really glad that you broke it down the way that you broke it down, because it was phenomenal for me. And even though I say, like, I started first with food, it still had to be a thought, a belief, and a feeling for me to even think food could have an impact for me to even first take the shift. And so it was definitely mindset that triggered the action of me changing and being more of a mindful eater. But it all comes down into play. It's a holistic approach. And so I'm grateful that you brought that in there. And I'm a foodie too. So when you can really start recreating those experiences and still find good food that's good for you and healing and make you feel better, like, why not? You have nothing to lose at this point. But I also want to resonate with the person who's saying it's hard to give up cheese. It's hard to reduce the meat. It's hard to let go of my boxed and bagged foods because it is a convenience thing for me, or culturally, that's all I ever know. And that's what I'm familiar with. I just want to leave you with this one thing. It is okay to grieve the life that you used to live, to go after the life that you know you deserve and that you want to get a taste of. And I mean that literally, but still, like, you want to see yourself have less pain, to not be bloated, to not be fatigued. And so this is your reminder. This is Beth, the health detective and healthy habits and lifestyle coach, Jovonnie, reminding you that you deserve to make these shifts, to do these 3 things, to get the guide and start changing how you're doing your rhythm of this thing called life and healing. And so I just want to say thank you for that. You also talked about prioritizing food swaps over supplements. What simple changes have you seen make the biggest impact for the people that you've worked with, or your friends, or your family, or your teammates that you just wanted to live better lives, Beth?
It's so easy to get caught up in the marketing trap of supplements. They do such a good job. They're spending a lot of money to convince you that you need all of the supplements. Get out in the sunshine. Get your vitamin D from going outside. If you're in the north, yes, it's a little bit harder, but go outside. Get your vitamin D that way. Vitamin C, yeah, we need vitamin C. There's so many fruits, greens, so much, and they have all the cofactors already built in. And when you make a great salad, or you take your greens and you massage them with some fat, like some olive oil, you're really making it bioavailable. So there are incredible amounts of vitamins and minerals that are in our food. And if you're really depleted, a supplement could be just that, a supplement that you take for a short period of time to get you back to where you need to be. Sometimes it's very helpful. If you have digestive issues and you're not producing enough digestive enzymes, sometimes that digestive enzymes can kickstart what you need. But then you need your body to take over and start doing that. You don't want to be on things like that forever. It's like called like a green allopathy, green prescription. You know, you're just taking a pharmaceutical and changing it out, and now it's something from the health food store. But let's not rely on supplements in forms of pills. Let's try and get them from our food. There are plenty of ways that we need copper and zinc, and you can get them from plant-based or animal-based or both. And it's really important to have those trace minerals. And many women face challenges with their thyroid, and or if you have cysts, usually there's an iodine deficiency. Look to your algae and your seaweeds. You can take iodine in a topical form in drops, but why not, instead of looking that way, look to the sea vegetables and sprinkle them on your food. And then you get everything else that we haven't even discovered that are in those plants that are also nourishing you. So that's what I think about, yeah, swapping out and getting more nutrients from your food instead of supplements.
When you said the sea vegetables for people with thyroid issues, or potentially like with the iodine and with cysts, I definitely had an inflamed thyroid at one particular point in time. My family, I've had family members with like Graves' disease and different thyroid issues, or having thyroid surgery. And when you said sea vegetables, I was like, I love me some good kelp noodles. It's almost like the alternative for like rice noodles. And that's like my thing, like with the kelp noodles, because it's like if I want a pasta, just soak some kelp noodles in some nice hot water, some apple cider vinegar, a little lime, just to soften them up, rinse them all out, and like pair it with whatever sauce I want to pair it with. And now I have some good kelp noodles, or sea vegetables. I also like the nori. Some people don't like it, but I love the nori. So one thing that I did, and I'm just just giving y'all some of my vibes because I'm a foodie and she talked about it. So you might be saying, what do you mean kelp noodles, or what do you mean sea vegetables? I'm just giving you some ways that I've done some of these things to get in the iodine and to get in those nutrients to help with my thyroid. And someone who had cysts on their ovaries before, what I'm doing to be proactive. I also like using the nori seaweed. My mom just likes to eat it as is, but I like cutting it up, putting in some like coconut oil, some coconut aminos, different things like that, and almost making like a seafood garlic butter that I would have had, but it's really not butter. And I'm using like the actual seaweed and I'm pouring it over like boiled potatoes and I'm eating it. And it's just absolutely amazing. Or putting the nori in a wrap with like lettuce and eating something like with like chipotle walnut meat tacos in a nori wrap. And so, y'all, there's so many different ways that you can take the ingredients that you need and make it something that resembled a meal that you absolutely loved before. I loved seafood. Crab legs was a big thing for me. And so crab boils, living in Florida, snow crab trays and stuff like that. So now not having it, I use the heart of palms and I use seaweed and I find ways to recreate that same delicious flavor and textures to bring to me what I used to have that's more of a nutritional value that aligns with my body and my lifestyle. And so I hope that helps you all in regards to that. But Beth, you hit it. Vitamin D. Get out there in the sun if you can and get that natural sunshine. Vitamin C that can be found in greens and fruits already built in. Get some extra virgin olive oil and massage your greens. And now you're just really making sure that you have the right meals, the right options that your body just naturally needs and it doesn't take you that long to have. And then letting people know that it is okay to utilize a supplement for a short period of time to give your body what it needs right now until you can properly create the rhythm and the vibes for it in the long term to give it what it needs based on what you like, based on what you've been able to try to get in those nutrients, because you're not going to like every single thing. Just because it's healthy doesn't mean you're going to like it all. And so in order for it to be sustainable and something that's truly going to be a part of your rhythm, you need to be able to try different things. So until then, it's okay to get the supplements to get your body what you need until you can get them all from food sources or ways that align with the way you would like to do. And remember, y'all, we're not your healthcare professionals. We're just having the empowered conversation to give you some ideas to spark your curiosity for you to go do your own research, talk to your own health professionals, and figure out the path that's best for you, because it's your healing, your journey. We just hope that we're empowering you along the way. And if you're feeling empowered, go ahead and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast distribution platform, go ahead and give the podcast a follow and a rating. Check the show notes for all the good vibes and value. Beth, why is muscle testing such a powerful way to uncover those hidden root causes of what's really going on in our bodies?
Great. So, muscle testing is a way of checking in with what your wisdom needs. So, it's a way of checking in to see the part of you that knows how to breathe and digest your food and move your blood cells around, not your thinking brain, that other wisdom part. What does it really need? So if you're working with a practitioner who does muscle testing, that person will ask you to hold out your arm and will press on your arm. And that person will ask certain questions, test supplements, and find out things. So that's great if you go to somebody who does that. So there's chiropractors who do it, there's nutrition response practitioners, there's all different types of people who do that sort of thing. But you can learn to do it yourself. And I can teach you to do it right now. So this is what you need to do. If you have some supplements, usually somebody's got a jar of vitamins or a bottle of something, put it in your hand. Ask yourself with it in your hand, do I need this right now? Will this benefit me right now? And you have to feel into your body. Do you feel a yes? Do you feel like you're moving towards it, moving forward? Or do you feel a no? Or you feel like you're moving away? You have to, since you're doing it for yourself, you have to learn what is your yes and what is your no. When you get really good, you'll be able to pick it up and say, oh, I don't need this today. And you'll just put it right back down. And other days you'll be reaching for it saying, yeah, I need that today. This is what I need. You do this when you go to the market or the grocery store and you're looking at the vegetables and you see the carrots and the bok choy and the broccoli and the spinach. And you say, well, I'm going to make this recipe. And the recipe says to get broccoli. I don't want to get the broccoli though. I really want to get the bok choy. That is your body saying, I need what is in there. My body is calling to me saying, get that now. And so you pick up the bok choy and say, well, we're making dinner with bok choy. I'm not going to touch the broccoli. I don't know why. I don't want broccoli today. The recipe said broccoli, but I don't want that. When you practice listening to your body, you strengthen your ability to do this. And so it's called muscle testing because your muscle, when a practitioner does it, will go weak when it's a no, and it'll be strong when it's a yes. So you can look this up on YouTube and find videos of people doing it, but that is the simplest way to do it. And use it. Use it to make decisions about food. Use it to, if you're not sure about whether you should try these supplements that you've had in your cabinet, should you throw them out? Should you keep them? You can ask yourself instead of saying, I don't know. You have all the answers you need for your health inside of you. You just need to ask, listen, and take action.
Ask, listen, and take action. Ask, listen, take action. Y'all drop that in the comments. Ask, listen, take action. So you don't forget. I want you to be able to receive that. Do I need this right now? Will this help me right now? I think those are definitely some strong questions to self check your decision making. And the reason why I love it is because I see mindset as your thoughts, feelings, and your beliefs. And whatever your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are, they impact the decisions that you make, the choices that you make. The choices that you make impact your behavior. Your behaviors turn into what your true reality is when it comes to your lifestyle. And so when you really start asking yourself, do I need this right now? And will it help me right now? That is powerful. That's not just for food though, y'all. That's for the relationships that you're in, the spaces and the environments that you're in, the products that you're buying to put on your body, or to prepare your meals, your foods, the things that you are utilizing that strongly impact or come in contact with your body in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And so I really believe those are some very powerful questions. But the message is to truly practice listening to your body and knowing when it's a weakness or a weak response, it's a no. And if it's a strong one, it's a yes. I'm gonna be honest with you, Beth. When you said you're in the grocery store, and I am someone who prefers to buy groceries online and have them delivered and not be in the store. So I'm like, I don't know if it'll tell me about the broccoli or the bok choy when I'm just putting in what I want in my cart. But it was like, what about the person who isn't already choosing the broccoli and the bok choy? What if they're removing themselves or trying to find themselves step away from the box foods, the bag foods, and those other options because they're not used to preparing, like you told us, to those home cooked meals at home? What should they be asking themselves? How should they be finding that new shift to really starting to do something a little bit different by buying the fruits and vegetables, or identifying what fruits and vegetables they need to have? Should they be starting with just some of their favorite fruits and vegetables that they already know they like and just having more of them? Or is it, am I trying these new recipes? Like, where should they start with identifying their strong yes and their weak no when they're coming from familiarity and comfort?
Start with something you know. So if you know that you love pineapple, get to know what like a strong yes means with a pineapple. Or if you like mangoes, when mangoes are in season. But when you have a mango that's not ripe, like, oh, it's terrible. Who wants to eat an unripe or badly transported mango that is really gross? No. So you know what a yes and a no is. So then the next thing is, if fruits are your thing, fruits are easy, then move on to strawberries, or move on to Bananas, maybe, like, I don't really like bananas because, there's that weird taste, like, it's just not right. Some people love them,
It's a
some people
texture
don't.
for me.
Yeah, there's a texture, so get to know what that is, and then move on to what other vegetables, like, oh, these bell peppers, there are these red ones that look amazing. And they're a little sweet, and I have never tried that before. Try that. Then get a green one, like, oh, this tastes totally different. Do I like green? Some people like that. Some people love lemons and limes. Other people, that's not a taste they're used to. But you won't know, and you won't train your taste buds from processed foods unless you just start. So start with what you like, and every week try adding something new in. Start with fruits, move on to vegetables. Yeah, there's no need to go right to bitter greens. You don't need to do dandelion and arugula next week. Go with something that you like. If you're looking for an easy green, do baby spinach. Tastes like nothing.
Yes, I appreciate that,
It
Beth.
tastes
And I
small.
like it. You're really talking about really getting to the point of just what you're familiar with, building your confidence in that. Understanding what can I have more of in the stuff that I already like. If you know you like these fruits, start your day with these fruits. If you know you like these vegetables, make sure you're getting in these vegetables several times out of the week. Build your confidence up. Start creating that rhythm for yourself when you are really addressing how to have a different relationship when it comes to food, and using food more than just fuel, chemicals, calories, and something just to fill you up just because you need to eat. Like, be intentional about it and make good decisions, but know that when it comes to your food and what is all in your food and what you're consuming plays a huge part on your health, and your health span, not just your lifespan and what all is happening. And so it is definitely a powerful choice. So you talk a lot about how emotional pain becomes physical symptoms. Can you unpack the role of unprocessed grief and lack of boundaries and how they play in women's health struggles, Beth?
Sure. I have clients who don't realize how much that is impacting them. They come to me, they're having hormone disruption, they are emotional roller coasters, they have gained weight. Like in the past year, they gained a lot of weight and they don't know why. And they think they need a food plan, and they think that they need some support. There's that I'm going to give them this magic thing that's going to make them drop all the weight. I'm not a weight loss coach, but they think that. But then we start talking and we realize all that they've been through, and that grief that just settles into the lungs. And they say, "Yeah, I just always like I'm easy to get coughs and I just can't stop coughing, or I just feel this weakness and this wheezing, and it's just the way I am." But then we look at it, and I'm a homeopath. So I use homeopathics in my work, and I've developed custom remedies for them. And we go back and we can find like the grief that was there from when they were a child, or when they were a teenager, and in their younger early 20s, and things that they just didn't have time to process because they were either too young, or life goes so fast and we don't get the support we need or even think that we need it. Our culture is like, "Oh, you had a loss in your family? I'm so sorry. See you can have 2 days and we'll see you back at work." There's not enough time culturally to come together and grieve. And so even without a recent major loss, grief can still be in you, and it settles in. And the work I do can identify that, and we can easily see, oh, the reason you have an area of weakness here is because there is grief. And so, between all the modalities I use, we can heal that emotionally as well as physically, because your body physically needs support there as well, but emotionally needs support clearing out. So, that's grief. And boundaries. When you don't have boundaries, when you're a people pleaser, when you just want to say yes because you want people to like you and you think it's your job, it is your job to serve. You are a mother, you are a daughter, you are the one that at work everyone depends on you, you say yes, and your body will say no for you. When you won't have boundaries, your body will set the boundaries. You'll get the pain, you'll get the migraine, you'll get the debilitating fatigue where you can't get off the couch because you don't have boundaries. And so your body says, I'm out. I got nothing left. You've given everything and there's nothing left to take care. So when people come to me, they just want, I just need more energy to get through my day. I have a busy day. There's more things I need to do. And then we start looking at it and what's coming up. These emotional patterns of not taking care of yourself and overgiving. You will not win a gold star when you collapse. You need to take care of yourself.
Come on, you won't get a gold star if you collapse. That part, that is the visual right there, because you never really know what people are going after because of the way that they're thinking that they have to say yes at everything. And I'm so grateful you kind of brought to light emotional patterns and what that looks like, and slightly why people are choosing these ways of living. I definitely was someone who wasn't raised with understanding the power of boundary setting. Definitely was a people pleaser. Felt like it was my job to serve, to always show up. If someone asked for something, is go for it, go do it, show up because they've done this for you, done that for you. Why not you? And so that was a big thing for me. And so I love when you said your body will say no for you, even if you say yes. That hit me because when I got that debilitating pelvic pain that had me balled up on the bathroom floor, not sure where this pain was coming from, not know how long it was going to last, what was happening in my body. And then the next day driving to work and that same pain hits me again. And I slightly swerved into the next lane beside me. And there was an 18-wheeler coming up in that lane. I saw my life flash before me. That right there, once I started going through the process, understanding like I need to go to the emergency room, they need to see, they found a large cyst on my right ovary. I start going through the process. We get to stage 4 endometriosis, adenomyosis, things that were happening in my body for years. And my body finally was saying no more to the people pleasing, no more to serving in spaces that weren't acknowledging me, valuing me for who I was, no more to being in a toxic relationship that wasn't right for me, that wasn't appreciating all the things that I was bringing to it. And so when you said all of that, the emotional turmoil, the lack of boundaries, the weight loss, you say, I'm not a weight loss coach. So many people come to me as well and they want to lose the weight, but eventually after talking, it was like, okay, well, I really want a better way to live. I want a healthier lifestyle. I want to be around for my family. I want to see my children's kids grow older. I want to see my legacy. I want to not be on a lot of medications. I want to reduce the medication that I am on. So it might start as weight loss because that's what the eye can see. It's physically, I don't see myself the way I want to be. And that's what they think it is. But it truly is a weight lost, Beth, because it's so much emotional weight that they're carrying that they don't know they need to lose and to be able to process and get that guidance and that support. And so I'm so glad that you brought that up. But being able to say it shows up in your lungs, it shows up in your pelvic pain, it shows up in your fatigue, it shows up in your bloating. Your body has a way of truly responding to all of the things that are unprocessed or I want to say you're not even giving it any type of attention. You're ignoring the fact that it even exists because you don't even realize that it's there. And you feel like you keep having to show up for all these people and you're neglecting showing up for yourself and not being a priority for you. So if that's you and you're hearing us and you know that that's been you in the past, or you're at a place right now where you're saying, you know what, I want to change. I want to make this shift. I hope you hear how powerful and beneficial it is for you to start saying yes to you and no to everyone else. Understanding how beneficial it is to have boundaries and understanding that your grief needs to be processed and that grief is a journey. It's not going to just end because a situation ended. Like it's going to take time because when it rises and comes back into your life, you have to have the coping skills and the mechanisms to truly approach it and address it in whatever way it shows up for you presently in that time. And so you can find ways to move on, move through, but feel it and not just suppress it. And so I'm really grateful that you brought in the emotional patterns and really talked about some of the experiences that you've had, for people who understand that their pain really isn't just physical pain, that it starts with some type of emotional pain that starts to show up mentally and physically over time. But I kind of want to ask you this: why do you believe being the strong one can become a barrier to true healing, Beth?
When you don't hear yourself anymore and
Mm,
you are strong for everyone else, you ultimately won't be able to serve those you love as best as you can, because you need to be strong for yourself. You need to know what you need physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of the things need to come together. And you are a strong mind, will be able to serve those you love the best. And so when you are always the strong one and you are always receiving the complaints, the emergencies, and it's always coming at you, and you are the cleanup crew. You are who people call an emergency. You are, hey, we need somebody to put this together. Maybe you can handle that, but you need to make sure that you are refilling yourself and that you have a support team. If you don't have a support team, then it becomes very imbalanced. And my work is a lot about balance. Your body wants to be in balance. It's not like everything is equal all the time, not that type of balance. But if you are always giving, but you don't have support, you will notice that. Sometimes it's
mm,
quite literally like your back will not be supported. Your feet and your legs will not be able to support you. There sometimes the body is very, very literal when you are not getting certain things. So take care of where you receive. And if you block the receiving, there's going to show up as an imbalance if you are always giving and not receiving. And if you don't have people who give to you, then that's something that needs to be cultivated in your life, because at some point you will be empty and need to replenish that.
yes, I appreciate you for walking us through that. I like the blocking, the receiving, and then not being able to hear yourself anymore, and that the fact that you need support. Drop the word support. If y'all are still with us in this conversation, you're vibing with us, you're connecting, you're understanding, you're clicking, it's resonating with you. Drop the word support in the comments. That is your reminder that you need support. You need a support system. You can't do this by yourself. And even if you think you can, you'll be so much stronger if you had the support, the guidance, and you deserve it because you're supporting for someone else. And then you don't want to block your blessings. You don't want to block the opportunities for you to be able to truly heal and elevate and evolve. And then you also want to be able to receive. Don't pour, and have nothing pouring back into you. That is not ideal for your healing. That's not ideal for your vessel. That's not ideal for what this thing called life, for it to truly be impactful and invaluable. And so I'm really grateful for that. Beth, what does it look like when a woman finally gets answers through your process? Any transformation stories that kind of left you in awe that you would like to share?
I am always amazed. The people I work with, mostly women, some men, they get new jobs because they're totally different. They're like, "Oh, I can't be in this job anymore. I need a new job." And they go do that thing that they wanted to do that they didn't have the energy to do because their brain was so focused on the pain that
Mm,
they could not get into the next stage of their life. They are told by their children, their adult children. One woman was told, "Mom, we're so glad you're back. We were so worried about you." when your adult children were ready to have an intervention because they were concerned about you, and that you've got your spark of joy back in your eyes, you feel better and stronger than ever. That's amazing. So new jobs happen. People's if they're in a like a dicey relationship, those partners just like go away. Like once women get strong, it just if you're not in alignment, the old stuff goes away. And it happens pretty quickly and
Come
easily.
on,
So
strong women. Drop the word strong in the comments if you felt that. That was a good one right there. I like it.
yeah. So,
Thanks.
my clients come back to doing what they love to do. Their joints don't hurt, so they're dancing and they're gardening and they're hiking and they're not worried like, "Oh, if I go hiking, is my knee gonna give out and I'm not gonna be able to get back?" Like all that stuff. Like, no, you need to trust your body. So they trust their body again.
I like it. Brain is focused on the pain when they first meet you,
Mhm.
but they get to a place when they're able to trust their body. And I think what's more important than even just trusting your body is trusting yourself with the one body that you're given. I think that's it right there, because it goes back to what we talked about before with your yes or your no, and having to get to a place where you're hearing yourself and trusting what your body really needs. So I think that's the level up right there, trusting yourself with the one body that you're giving to live the life that you deserve and need. So I am all for that one. You call what you do the Google Maps for your health. What does that roadmap usually uncover for your clients?
So when the work that I do looks at your both your physical and your emotional self because it's all together. Like we talked about today, everything is together. I use a technique that is called bioenergetic testing along with my Reiki skills and homeopathy skills and all of it together. And what we do is uncover what's out of balance. But who needs a list of problems? No one. We got enough problems. We figure out what you need to be in balance. And I develop custom homeopathic remedies and all of my health wisdom. So when I work with my clients, you get all of my health wisdom plus this incredible method of digital muscle testing. So we talked about muscle testing, and I do that in a unique way called bioenergetic testing. And my clients get all of that to get back into balance. And it doesn't happen in one session, it takes a few months. But you've been in this world for decades, and things have not gotten this way over 1 month or 1 year. It's usually built up. Some clients report back in days and weeks that things are shifting so fast. But, it even all of us who work with people on transformation, it takes a few months. It takes time to anchor things in and build new habits. And that's the process and that's how I work. It's amazing to see transformations when people are ready and willing to receive and do the work.
Girl, say that again. Ready and willing.
Yes.
That's it right there. To build the new habits. Ready and willing. Those are key components to have if you're truly ready to embrace the journey of transformation and go after the things that you said you want for your life, and to really solve the problems that have really been stopping you from living the vibrant life that you deserve to live. To really help you with the pelvic pain, to help you with the bloating, to help you with the fatigue, to really just help you get out of a place of low vibrational state, to truly gain that trust back in yourself and see it get to the root cause of healing, and know that it takes time, because it took time to develop the problems in the state of inflammation and the state of concern that your body is in already. And so quick fixes isn't where it's at. It's all about the slow medicine and the true intentional healing journey of finding the path the plan and the rhythm that's right for you and only you, and not for everybody else. So I really appreciate that. A lot of listeners, Beth, are exhausted from trying so hard to feel better. How do you help them shift from control to curiosity when it comes to their body?
A lot of people want control because there's so much uncertainty. The world is so uncertain. You don't know what is going to come, from the weather to the news to what's happening in the world. You don't know. So you think that maybe at least my own body I can control. And when you can't control, it means that there's a mismatch in what you expect. And it means you're not listening.
Mm-hmm.
So to get curious is to start by something simple. Here's a question you can ask. At the end of the night, when you're going to bed, put your hand on your heart and say, what what do I need to know from today? And just listen to what comes up. You don't have to journal. This is not a huge meditation. This is a simple question. What do I need to
What
know
do
from
I need
today?
to know from
That's it.
today? I like that. Y'all drop that question in the comments. What do I need
Yeah.
to know from today? What do I need to know from today? I appreciate that, Beth. What's
And then
one belief about healing
you'll shift from curiosity.
to
Sorry.
from control to curiosity? Yeah. And I think that's an easy question to recall, and it'll help you reflect from the day, but also it allows you to get present, because sometimes we're so go 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 go. Even when we get into the place where we're getting ready to go to sleep and get into bed, we might still be on the screen times, having conversations, doing all of these other things, that you're not even giving yourself that few moments to just truly reflect on, what did today even look like, what things did I overcome, what were some of the challenges that I faced that I was able to overcome? What did I do versus what didn't I get done today? And so having that one question to just truly ask, what do I need to know from today, truly moves from control to curiosity, to see exactly how did you really show up today? What could you get most out of your life that you're still living today to go make tomorrow even better? And so I really appreciate that. What's one belief, Beth, about healing that you wish every woman would throw out today?
That healing comes from outside of you. Throw it out.
Ooh, girl, and that is so true, because I promise you, if I did not have the surgery after having that deep pelvic pain experience that nearly cost me my life while driving, I I would have, if I would have never known what was happening in my body, from the large cyst growing on my ovaries, from the reconstruction of my fallopian tubes being stuck, endometriosis all over my bowels, my appendix, all different organs. If I did not see the pictures, if I did not go through what I thought was supposed to be a 30-minute to 1 hour surgery that ended up to be in 4 hours, if I had no idea of what was happening on the inside of my body, Beth, I would have thought that I was healthy, I was okay, and I was living just right, how I was living, how I was navigating life, what my habits looked like, what my lifestyle was, and I thought I was all good, and I wasn't. So I truly resonate with that. Healing starts from within. There is no pill, there is no doctor, there's no other thing that you need on the outside of you more than what you need for you to start with this thing called life. And honestly, Beth, it wasn't just a healing journey, it was a self-love journey. Like, once I started to show up better for myself, have the boundaries, have the self-respect, going after things that gave me peace and not drama, really finding a way to make purpose of everything that I was going through, really wanting to show up with light, love, of impact, taking the wisdom, the things that I've learned myself, hoping that it helps the next person if they choose to get it. Like, it definitely started within, but it is so powerful once you start within, embrace the journey, and start allowing all the external ways of getting guidance, support, receiving those things to help elevate that journey. And so I resonate a lot with that. And so I'm really grateful for that reminder of the belief that you wish everyone would throw out, that it starts outside of you. You need all these other things, but really you only need you with a mindset shift to truly change your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs about how you're living life right now, and identifying those habits and create a new rhythm of showing up out of love and care for yourself. And hopefully from this podcast, from this conversation, you've got just enough steps to start with that curiosity to start making change today. So we're getting into the vitality sparks round, Beth. So quick, rapid fire responses to these next few questions. All right.
Got it.
All right, let's go. What symptom do you believe most women ignore that they really shouldn't?
Indigestion.
One food swap you think every woman should consider this week?
Herbal tea instead of coffee.
What's your favorite non-food practice for grounding or emotional release?
Outside barefoot in the sunshine.
What's a personal belief that's helped you the most in your own healing journey?
I am a healer. Deep
A
belief.
phrase, okay. A phrase or affirmation your clients hear often from you.
Your body wants to heal. Ask, listen, and take action.
Ask, listen, and take action. If your body had a voice, what would it say right now?
Go, 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 go.
Finish this sentence. Healing happens when.
You want it to.
All right. So here we go. Last two questions. Give some advice for the girl dads, the father figures, the male role models, the partners, the spouses of those dealing with pelvic pain, heavy bleeding, fatigue, bloating, endometriosis, adenomyosis, polycystic ovary syndrome, fibroids. How can these males be more a part of this healing journey and of support?
Patience and grounding, and knowing that when they are strong, they provide the container for the women they love to go through the journey, knowing that someone is there to support them.
Thank you. All right. If you could have a meal with any historical figure, who would it be and what would you all eat?
Oh gosh. A historical figure.
Any historical figure.
Oh. You are stumping me with this right now. I'd want to go back to my great grandmother and
Okay.
have a meal that she prepared and sit at her table and learn from her.
Okay. Can you tell us what the meal is?
The meal, well, my ancestry is German, so there might be meat and sausage, probably cabbage, potatoes. It would probably be very peasant, farmer. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That gave us
And
an idea. That gave us
that's
an idea.
probably what it would be.
All right, Beth. Thank you so much. Let everybody know where they can find you and how they can connect with you.
Wonderful. Thank you. So I have a free quiz. I would love for you to take it. Go to my website at yourhealthwithbeth.com. Take my free quiz. It's a body signals quiz. Takes 1 minute. You'll get my insights and access to a private podcast.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Beth. So, y'all, your body isn't broken. It's actually brilliant. And that symptom you keep pushing through, it's not a sign of failure. It's a message. When you stop ignoring the signals and start listening, everything changes. Healing doesn't have to be a guessing game or another exhausting to-do list. When you learn to tune in, get curious, and respond with care, Your body will guide the way. Y'all, it's your healthy habits and lifestyle coach, Jovonnie, host of the Empire Plates, Empire Lives podcast. Check the show notes. I got to spot your trigger quiz. I want you to spot your triggers, the top 3 disruptors that are causing you pelvic pain, bloating, fatigue, that's really not allowing you to live the life you truly deserve. And so I want you to take the spot your triggers quiz and get your 15 hidden lifestyle disruptors guide. All of the information is in the show notes. Thanks for vibing with me, y'all.